Inside Out 2 was a dandy at the box office, Deadpool and Wolverine on its way to do quite well, so why are things not so swell with the Disney stock? Well, it turns out things are so bad that one of Disney's biggest stockholders has liquidated his entire holding of the company. And that's because he thinks it's going low, low, low. And now folks are beginning to wonder, will Elon Musk buy on a budget and take on the Disney woke mind virus? Hello folks, welcome back to the Pro Channel, where we explain entertainment, keep you ahead of the culture curve. It's a joy to do so, even though Holly Weird comes kicking and screaming back to the sensible center where money can be made. Joining us today is a longtime fan favorite, someone you all love, but it's been too long. Derek the D.A. Anderson is back in the house.
Thanks. Glad to be back, man. Love talking with you about this stuff, Pro. Can't wait to talk about Disney. We've been kind of talking the Acolyte for a while. It's time to talk about Disney and what's going on with the entire company.
Yeah, you know, we've all got that twitch in our eye now. It's not a sparkle. It's like a neurological issue after having suffered through the repeated root canal that was the Acolyte. All right, well, Disney's going through their own root canal. Bob Iger, at least, not having a fun time. This is the 5-year on the stock, folks. We'll show you how much worse it is. And we keep covering this. Now, as of recording, this is accurate. As of you watching this video, well, we don't know when you're watching this video, and so we can't tell you exactly what the stock is. We're stuck in the past, darn it. But $90.94, that's where the stock ended on July 23rd. If we go to the 1 day, you can see right here, it held kind of flat, but that really doesn't tell the tale of the precipitous decline that the stock has been showing over the last days. You go to the month, it's not any better. This stock is down, down, down. And there's a delta between it and the rest of the stock market. That is a bad sign. Things are getting worse, though, Derek, because about the time the market was closing, and so we do not yet know the full impact of this, we've got this story. It's out from Jonas J. Campbell, investigative reporter for thatparkplace.com. Longtime Disney shareholder Ike Perlmutter liquidates his $3 billion stake in the Walt Disney Company, citing management issues. Now, this is interesting all of its own, but there's a much bigger story buried down here just a few paragraphs in, and I want to point it out to you. It says the Walt Disney Company shareholder Ike Perlmutter liquidated his entire stake in the Walt Disney Company over the last few months. The news came as Disney shares fell precipitously to $90 early this week. Robbie Whelan from the Wall Street Journal reports that Perlmutter sold his stake for an average price of $115 a share. In other words, he is a huge winner because he sold before it dropped. That is, and this is what Nelson Peltz did too. So the lame streamers out there who were saying, "Ooh, Peltz is getting out. He's so scared. Oh, look, there goes Perlmutter." No, these people knew exactly what was going to happen. They predicted it perfectly. They maximized their results off of this and got out while the other shareholders are taking it for the team. Perlmutter is a vocal opponent of current Disney CEO Bob Iger and has stated that I don't have confidence in Disney's current management and that he expects the company's share price and financial performance to decline further. Here's the paragraph that's so important and may have great import on the way people react. As I read this, folks, remember, we are not here to give you financial advice. We are not giving you financial advice. Don't take anything we say as financial advice. Perlmutter also stated, if Disney's shares decline to 65 to 75 per share, he plans to buy much of his old stake back. And Derek, I think that's right in line with what Nelson Peltz might be thinking. We'll talk about Elon Musk in just a moment. There are two big stories happening, and they need to be connected. And many out there are not doing it yet. But Derek, before we get started on this with the Elon Musk side of it, just what are your thoughts about this Disney stock? It's largely coming from the theme parks, I think. What do you make of how badly Disney's doing?
Well, again, this is all about the brand damage that we've seen done to this company over the years. Bob Iger has ran the company like this, and he's run it into the ground. Nelson Peltz was trying to save it. He's trying to get it back on the right track. He had Ike Perlmutter's full support with his shares. But at the end of the day, look, these are businessmen. They have to do what's right in their own for their own pocketbooks, in their own minds. They have to say, hey, look, this is a sinking ship. I better get out of here while I can, you know. And the old adage, buy low, sell high, is definitely in play. It looks like Ike is keeping his eye on Disney, because if it drops to a certain percentage, he's going to get back in. But yeah, the reason that this thing is fallen the way it's fallen is because you're looking at all the chaos that's going on over there. We got like Disneyland, I think, is about to go on strike right now. We have so many problems with within the Disney company. They don't have their act together. And this is the reason why the stock keeps dropping and dropping. They're losing investor confidence. This tells you what Bob Iger is doing right now. He really still does not have a succession plan for who's going to take over this company once he's done. So everybody right now is just like, look, I don't know what's going on, but I'm not going to continue to attach my money to this. I'm getting out while the getting is good, while I can still make a little bit of money. And that's what Ike Perlmutter did. That's what Nelson Peltz did. We'll see about Elon Musk, because Elon Musk might be looking at that exact same thing, says, hey, maybe this is an opportunity for me to jump back in or jump into Disney at a low sales price because Bob Iger is doing his best to destroy this thing.
Wait a minute, Derek. This company was positioned to us in the past year or so under Bob Iger as a three-pronged corporation. And one of those was the parks, and the parks represent a huge chunk of the profits. Another part of it was ESPN, but that third leg of the company is streaming, Disney Plus. Yes. Are you telling me, Derek, that having watched The Acolyte, that you've come away with less confidence in the streaming strategy of the House of Mouse? Is that what you're trying to tell me?
If I'm not mistaken, The Acolyte didn't even chart in its fourth week on Nielsen. It didn't even chart in the top 10. We're talking Star Wars. So they ran Star Wars.
Nothing.
Nothing. They've ran Star Wars into the ground, okay? Marvel is right now looking Deadpool and Wolverine might pull off a win, but what's coming after that? Where's the confidence in streaming for Agatha all along? Is there a lot of confidence for that? I don't think so. So you have a lot of question marks right now hanging over this company with the parks, with ESPN, with sports, and then also with streaming. There are a lot of question marks that Bob Iger just simply hasn't been able to answer. Again, consumer confidence is a big part of why people decide to invest in something in the first place. So if there's no consumer confidence, if people are looking around and saying, hey, nothing looks good here, it might be time to sell my shares. And then, especially when you hear Ike Perlmutter, my goodness, man, one of the biggest shareholders has dumped everything. It might be time for me to think about dumping mine too. That's what people are going to think. That's how people react to news like this. So it's going to be interesting to see what happens on the other side of Ike Perlmutter's announcements. Like you said, it just got announced today. So a lot of people might say, well, shoot, if Ike got out, maybe I need to get out. It's going to be fascinating to see how Bob Iger responds to this as well. And if Disney Plus is ever able to turn a profit, we'll be looking for that on the next quarterly reports. But if they are ever able to turn a profit, that'll be a feather in their cap. But again, what's coming down the line for Disney Plus? Nothing whatsoever. So Disney has completely destroyed what was a great brand for families, family fun, family entertainment. Yeah, and it all connects. You think about the movies connect to the theme parks because you watch the movie and then you can go see those same characters at the theme parks and everybody is enjoying themselves. The parents are enjoying themselves. The kids are having a great time. And now they've completely ruined a lot of that because they decided to become woke Disney and decided to push a lot of politics and a lot of propaganda and activism that has no place amongst children's programming. Disney has just simply forgotten who they are. And again, we saw Nelson Peltz trying to say, hey, let's turn this thing around. Let's get back to what Disney used to be. But unfortunately, Bob Iger and everybody else, the brass, the brain trust over there at Disney, they had different ideas. So I said, okay. And you can see the results. This is what the different ideas that Bob Iger had for the company have resulted to. $90, and it just keeps dropping. It seems like it's just going to keep going down until, Ike Perlmutter is ready to buy his shares back.
And, Derek, for folks out there who are shocked by this, well, if you'd been watching the channel, I don't think you'd be shocked at all. We have been declaring for months now that the theme park, specifically Walt Disney World, was struggling mightily. Walt Disney World represents 1/3 of all the profits of the company. Now you've got Disneyland that's going on strike, apparently. We'll see how that goes. We'll be covering it and sending reporters out there live if it happens. But you've got all of these things coming down, and this company forgot that it was and is a theme park company first, and then second, it is a movie and television company. And they've thrown all that to the side to chase after streaming and sports. And it's a calculation that has gone poorly. Here's what it's costing them, though, Derek. If we take a look at this story, this is the other part that folks need to be paying attention to. And just like back in April and May, we were saying, hey, this doesn't look good for Disney for the summer because of the Walt Disney World Resort. we're saying, hey, Disney, you probably already know this is a threat, but dear investors, you should probably know this is coming. I'm not sure it's a threat to investors. It's a threat to Bob Iger, perhaps. This is a story out of USA Today, but it's everywhere. Anthony Robledo is the author here. It comes from Elon Musk sitting down with the Daily Wire's Dr. Jordan B. Peterson for an interview. And in that interview, you can see what the headline says. Musk says his estranged child's gender-affirming care sparked a fight from him against the woke mind virus. Tesla CEO Elon Musk said that his estranged child was defeated by the woke mind virus after, according to Musk, being tricked into gender-affirming issues. In an interview with psychologist and conservative commentator Dr. Jordan B. Peterson, I'm not sure he's conservative. I think he's actually deeper than that. I think it's more philosophical. We'll leave it where it is. The ex-owner called, I can't even say that on this platform. The ex-owner called a particular type of surgery. Folks, apologies. We can't even read this. I wish we could. I wish we could just say to you what we're talking about, but we can't.
Mm-hmm.
However, you can read it. And folks, here's the deal. Musk, we're finding out what the impetus is for Musk to weigh in. So Musk has been about, Derek, all about firing up rockets and transforming the automobile industry and boring holes into the ground to make new roadways. And inhabiting Mars. So, he doesn't have very lofty goals in life. He really needs to reassess, come on, Musk, you need to be more ambitious. But, right. It's been, I think it's been a surprise to many of the major players out there that Musk suddenly dove into the culture war. Now we're finding out why. It's very personal. Now, why do I bring that up? Now that we're finding out what it is that happened, I think that it makes sense why Musk has a problem with the Walt Disney Company. And I think that if this stock continues to go down, Derek, that Elon Musk, who has been very disagreeable towards Bob Iger, and I would say that Bob Iger was the originating conflict against Musk. I think if this stock continues to drop, I would not be at all surprised if Elon Musk gets in. And here's the trick about all of this. This is why that paragraph was so important. That quote from Perlmutter, where he relayed to folks, right? He gave them the number 65 to 75. If Perlmutter buys in at 65 to 75, and Peltz buys in at 65 to 75, and Musk buys in 65 to 75, look out. And on top of that, Derek, here's the final trick they're pulling. What happens when when one of the guys who had one of the biggest holdings in the company says, I'm buying back at 65 to 75? What do you think that does to the psychology of everybody holding it? Everybody holding that stock, or a significant portion now, they have that in their mind. They now have seen that. It's been telegraphed to them. 65 to 75 is where many of them are going to believe this is going to go. And folks, I'm not here to prognosticate that to you. I'm not here to predict that at all. Right. I'm just telling you the psychological game that's being played.
Yes.
Do you believe that Elon is ready to take on Bob Iger if this stock continues to drop down into the 80s, the 70s and such?
I mean, he's made mention that he does have a huge problem with where Disney is at, where the culture war is.
It's personal to him.
It's very personal to him. You just showed the article why it's personal to him. It seems like Elon is all in. He wanted to get X for free speech purposes. He wanted to make sure that free speech, he was willing to even overpay for X to make sure that freedom of speech is something that was going to be available on that platform, because it is the world's wide, social media account where everybody discusses open events and talks about things. So Elon Musk is showing that he is 10 toes down. He is all the way in with the culture war. And if you really want to fight the culture war, especially from an entertainment standpoint, who better to buy into than the Walt Disney Company, because of all the major brands that it owns? When you're talking about Star Wars, you're talking about Marvel, you're talking about Pixar, you're talking about the Disney princesses. The Disney princesses a lot of times goes, kind of under or overlooked. where people don't really consider that this big brand. It's one of the biggest brands in the world, where you're talking about all the Disney movies that came out. And now they're trying to remake those Disney movies, but they want to inject a lot of ideology into those films instead of just making them little girls and princesses and growing up and believing in, fairy tales and things of that nature. They don't want to do that anymore. They're trying to push ideology through the Disney princesses. So you have all of these various large, humongous franchises that Disney owns. If you really wanted to really affect culture, if you really want to affect culture, it kind of does start with Disney. I've always said that Hollywood follows where Disney leads. And so if Disney is pushing the agenda, a lot of folks in Hollywood will feel more comfortable with that themselves. Disney has always been the family-friendly company. But if they decide that, or if Musk decides, I'm going to start pushing my influence here, and I want Disney to revert back to what Disney used to be, and if he does that, and then Perlmutter and Peltz are also on the same track, I mean, you're talking about a major change in the culture of this particular country as well as Hollywood at large. You're talking about a lot of people are saying, hey, we're tired of this nonsense, the woke mind virus, like Elon calls it. We're kind of sick of it. And it's time to return to form. We want to get back to traditional values, the values that actually help build the country. That's another thing that Elon did. He talks about in that same interview, the America Pact. And a lot of people thought it meant, oh, well, he's throwing money at a certain political ideology. It's like, no, he's throwing money at the values that built this nation. He thinks the nation is great and he wants to make it greater. So he's very much invested into creating a culture, a conversation around culture. And, that really does start in a lot of ways with entertainment, storytelling. That's how a lot of our values are passed down from since the beginning of time, really. Storytelling is a way to pass down your values of your community, your culture, or whatever. So I think Elon knows that. He's locked in. And yeah, I wouldn't be surprised whatsoever at all if Elon decide, it's time for me to go in here and take care of this too. We got to start telling the stories that build nations into powerful nations and not weak, soft nations that can easily, just get overthrown and taken over by the woke mind virus. So I think that's where Elon's coming from. And you know what? I kind of support that.
Well, Derek, let me open the eyes and the minds of people out there in the audience and reveal something to you that people need to know. We're not here to be political. I'm not going to be political. I just want to show this to folks. Before I do, let me say this. For people who have been following this channel for a length of time, you know that I have been saying that Dana Walden will be the next CEO of the Walt Disney Company. And the reason that I say that is because when Bob Iger was in charge and when Bob Chapek was under fire, someone was selected to go to a white tie White House dinner where they were hosting French President Emmanuel Macron. And the person that was selected by the Disney company was Dana Walden. And at the time, what I had heard was that Dana Walden was at the White House meeting with Kamala Harris, and that Dana Walden is very close with Kamala Harris. Well, guess what? That is being connected now by our good friends over at PUCK News. I can't say that website name, even though it's appropriate, because sometimes the subtitles pick it up the wrong way here on YouTube. But this is coming out now. Harris Walden 24. Now, she's not going to run as a VP with Kamala Harris, but Disney TV chief Dana Walden and her husband go back years with Kamala Harris, and the relationship between the potential president of the United States and the Senate Hollywood executive could be meaningful for both of them. Why does this matter? Well, folks, with the selection of Kamala Harris to be the candidate for the Democrats now, I'm saying it's even more likely that Dana Walden is the CEO of Disney, because what does Bob Iger want? Bob Iger wants power translated to money. And how does Bob Iger get power? By being close to the political establishment.
Yep.
Dana Walden is his ticket now to being directly connected to everything in the world of Democrats, the world of Obama, the world of the Clintons. And so Bob Iger would now have that direct line. Dana Walden, very, very close to Kamala Harris. I just want to draw that connection and say that the succession plan that Disney is going to have, Bob Iger to whoever's going to be the next CEO, I believe it's Dana Walden, if that is going to be interrupted in any way, and I'm not suggesting that it should not be or that it should be, but if it is going to be interrupted, then the forces of Elon Musk, Nelson Peltz, Ike Perlmutter, etc., they're going to have to make their play this year. There is no next chance. This is it. If they want to do it, the proxy battle begins later this year and into next year. This is in my estimation, this is the chess move being made by Bob Iger, essentially using the Walt Disney Company to further his financial and political ambitions. And it's all about legacy, prestige, and a whole lot more on his yacht. Derek, I'll give you the final word as we get ready to head out, but I think that is going to help people understand what's going on right now. Derek, your thoughts?
Yeah. Just my last thoughts. You had mentioned that, from a channel perspective, politics isn't really what we talk about. We talk about entertainment. We try to keep them ahead of the culture curve, as you state, but it really does connect to every part of who we are as people. Entertainment is a huge part of that. I think people would sometimes lose sight of how important entertainment is. Your music represents your culture. You can see the type of music that you can get from a culture is really representative of the culture. And it's just entertainment. It's just music. But it really connects directly to the culture of the people, what they believe, what they value. You can see this. And the same thing goes with the entertainment. So I don't think that it's ever wrong or ever improper to discuss some of the ways that entertainment connects back to things that are larger, like culture and politics. I think these are all intertwined, and I'm glad that we have places like WDW Pro, Valiant Renegade, my channel, and all the other channels out there that can discuss this openly and honestly, because ultimately, if we're going to see changes that are going to benefit the future of the nation, it's going to start with the culture, and that's directly related to how we enjoy life. Songs, music, movies, TV shows, all of these things directly connect to who we are as people. And I think it's really important that we discuss these things. So never, ever feel like this is not important conversations that we're having when we're just talking about, hey, Disney, and what's the stock price doing? It's all connected and it's all important, as you just stated.
Well, absolutely. And that's why, we're not taking a position. We're just letting you know.
Right.
Dana Walden and Bob Iger, they're in with the establishment left and with Kamala Harris, and that would be the play, is to get Dana in that power position, especially if Kamala Harris were to win. We're here to tell you that Nelson Peltz and Ike Perlmutter, they're part of the economic conservatives, but probably not the social conservatives. And right. Elon Musk, he exists as his own he is his own man. He is a wild card, but he is a classical liberal. He believes in free speech and freedoms and all of that. And so he has all the money in the world to promote that in any way he sees fit. That, folks, lays the table out for you to make your own decisions about what you think is right, what's wrong, where this company should go. We give you the facts, and then we go back to the back where we should be, staying in our lane. Folks, if you want to be in the most appropriate lane possible, though, for understanding what's coming down the pipe in entertainment, you need to be following Derek the DA. Derek, tell the folks out there where they can find you and what's coming out on your channel.
Yep. So I do have a new live stream that I've been doing nightly, or almost every night. The nightcap, usually pretty late for folks on the East Coast, but usually somewhere around the 10 p.m. Pacific time, 12 Central. You can find me out there just hanging out, talking to anybody in the chat, whatever you guys want to discuss. We chop it up, and it's really a lot of fun. Been meeting a lot of folks all over the world, really. We have folks chiming in from different parts of the world, Bangkok, Thailand, Manila, Tokyo. It's a lot of fun. So hang out with us on the nightcap. And then, of course, we do the DA's office every Saturday, 8 p.m. Eastern, 5 p.m. Pacific. So come watch me there. And then, of course, my regular videos that I drop, Derek Anderson, the DA. You can find my channel. Look, Pro, always a pleasure, man. Thanks for bringing me on. Love hanging out with you guys. Can't wait to do another live stream with you.
Well, Derek, it's always a joy to see how much growth you're getting out of your channel. And ever since the first time I saw you, met you, had you on, I knew this would happen. That's because there's a talent and there's a drive, and you're doing it all. So, folks, if you're not yet subscribed, seriously, you are missing out. Get over and subscribe to Derek. And, folks, also, if you want to become an active participant in this video and helping it go out to the places that need to know about it, well, you can do so. Click the like button, share, subscribe, click it, stick it to the algorithms, it's the notification bell. Drop a comment down below. We have given you quite a bit to chew on. and chew on it, you must join a community dialogue and share with us your thoughts. Folks, we want to thank you so much for your support of Vacation Radio. Continue to do so, please. It's at Vacation Radio. And don't forget that Game Place is having a show today. Later this afternoon, find out what's going on in digital interactive entertainment. All right, folks, until the next time, keep learning, keep growing, and keep having fun.
What are you doing?
Well, you see, I wanted to get some inside scoops on Disney and their different corporations, if you know what I mean. So I figured by looking into this fistbowl and sucking it randomly with my own energy that I paid for, you paid for, I could do the whole experience where you can be a master and spy on your targets.
You're an idiot. If you want to get the inside scoop on Disney, or even other media organizations, you should check out thatparkplace.com and subscribe to WDW Pro's YouTube channel. That'd be way easier, more accurate, and, less dumb.
Are you saying I won't get accurate information this way?
No, you can't.
Who'd think?